I give to you your Beta Omega Association President, Mr. Randy Woodson.
First of all, for those that are wondering, I will be at the tailgate. I'm not headed to Charlottesville after this. I think there's a picture later, so I want to be sure I cleared that up. I don't have any formal prepared remarks, but I do have to make one note. I was on a conference call Thursday night, and I just was listening for most of the evening, and I suggested at the end, Wally, would it be good, for someone just to kind of punch out a little bullet list of, what's going to happen Saturday morning and who's doing what. And yesterday morning, as I sat down with my cup of coffee at 6:15, here is the email from Wally. I think I'm supposed to be at the bathroom at 11:45. But anyway, thank you, Wally, for everything you've done. So just a few brief comments. It's a proud day to me for Beta Omega. I'm proud to be a Theta Xi. I'm even more proud to be a Beta Omega Theta Xi today. Proud of what you guys have accomplished. I mean, it's really amazing. Playing the college game for all it's worth. It's amazing how it's changed, and it's just tremendous how much you all have embraced it. On behalf of the Alumni Association, I want to thank you for everything that you've done to make this day possible. I want to thank the folks, mainly on this side of the room, but there are a few in the back, all the other alumni and everyone else in Beta Omega that's made this day possible, because it truly is an incredible day and accomplishment for us. I want to thank Jim. I have a term we use at work with people, and we call them GOMOs. And a GOMO is someone who goes through the motions. And you probably know people that you work with or people that you've known in your life that are GOMOs, people that are in organizations that are GOMOs. They go through the motions. But then there are people that, really are members, are there to contribute and make a difference, and for the purest of reasons. I think in many respects that's really what All True Men is about. And I think Jim, you are all true men. I mean, you truly are, what this is all about. So I want to thank you. Dr. Barano, thank you for all the guidance and leadership that you've provided. There were several names mentioned earlier. I know Dan Birdie, Dave Wolf, John Hawk, James. If I'm missing anyone, I mean, it's truly been a collective effort, and it truly is kind of the culmination of what everyone does. For Jim, I just want to thank you especially to kind of build on Wally's comments. 40 plus years, it truly is about, not being a GOMO. It's about being here to make a difference, and I think Jim has, and we appreciate everything that you've done to get us here. So everyone enjoy the day, be thankful, reflect. I mean, particularly for the oldest of the old farts. I mean, would you ever have thought that you'd be here today? I'm proud. I'm proud even though I probably wouldn't qualify. Thanks for everything you guys have done, and have a great weekend.
So, back to Jim. When I was a freshman, I started my leadership in the fraternity as a vice president, and from there, I went to the Rising Stars Academy. Before I went, I heard that Jim was going to be there. Now, before that, I was in my associate member period, and I had learned about Jim during my associate member period. He was one of the earliest Beta Omegas. He's our executive director. He's won Order of the Unicorn, which is the highest honor a Beta Omega can have, or a Theta Xi can have. So, obviously I was like, this guy's a rock star. Gotta meet him. So I get to Rising Stars Academy, finally track him down. You know, he was obviously running the whole thing, so it was a hard time getting to him. But once I found him and introduced myself, he just opened right up. He really just wanted to find out more about me, how the chapter was doing, and we had several conversations that whole week that really kind of set a good first impression with me and Jim. The next time that I went out to St. Louis was for President's Academy, and I brought along a bunch of other guys for Rising Stars, and I actually didn't get to meet Jim there, but they still got like an impression of Jim, because on the way back from St. Louis, we actually got to the airport, and what happened was our plane got grounded. We didn't get out of St. Louis, and so, you know, I was up front trying to deal with getting tickets for the next day, because class started the next morning, and, you know, one of my brothers just turns to me and goes, "Kiefer, like, where are we going to stay tonight, man? Like, I don't even know. None of us are from St. Louis." So I was like, "Man, I'm dealing with the tickets. Call Jim. He lives around here, so he might know somewhere we can stay." So my brother gets on the phone, calls up Jim, and Jim says, "All right, hold on. Let me call you back." 5 minutes later, Jim calls back. He calls us back with a confirmation number to a hotel room, paid in full. And they were just like, "Dude, Jim is the man." So even though they didn't get to meet him, the point there is that Jim helped out somebody, like, without even meeting him. He just knew he was his brother, he needed some help. And that was, like, really cool of him to do. You know, the next time I got to see Jim was at National Convention just in August, the 147th National Convention. And we had a free night to go out on the town on a Saturday night. We got there on Friday, and when I saw Jim, one of the first things he said to me was, "Hey man, you're coming out to dinner with me on Saturday night, right?" And, you know, and I was like, "Whoa, all right, cool." Like, so me and all the other Virginia Tech guys that were there all got to go out to dinner with Jim. And as somebody who's as high of a status in Theta Xi as Jim is, it's really an honor to be able to be invited to dinner by him. So I think a lot of the qualities that I'm sharing with you through these little stories, you know, a lot of us have experienced. And I think Jim really earns the respect of definitely myself. I think everybody who's met him. And I think if you take the time to get to know him, he will always take the time to get to know you. Jim's also a very humble person. Like I was saying, he's always willing to, you know, take that extra step to get to know you. And it's not just even from how high up he is in Theta Xi, he's always wants to get to know the Virginia Tech guys, which I think is really cool. And I think as everybody can agree, he's got a one-of-a-kind personality. He can get a lot of work done when he wants to, but he also can joke around and have a great time. So with that, I'd like to invite Wally and Randy up to say some more things.
I want to thank Randy and James for making those remarks about Jim. So many of us have known him over these many years. And one of those who has known Jim particularly well is a fellow by the name of John Lunning. And John Lunning experienced the same situation last night in attempting to get out of LaGuardia Airport to be here this morning to talk a little bit about Jim that James, you experienced in St. Louis. Unfortunately, John was not able to be here. He called me late yesterday, and the next part of the program was to be his part. So at the sake of reading some information that I could not do full justice to about Jim's involvement at the National, we know what he's done for us at Beta Omega in this town. But many of us really didn't know what he did in 40 years at the National Fraternity since he went there in 1973. So I'm going to read some information. I think you'll find this very, very interesting. You'll learn some things about Jim that you didn't otherwise know until the next couple of minutes. After graduation from Virginia Tech in 1972, Jim moved to St. Louis and joined Theta Xi National as a chapter consultant with responsibilities to instill in over 50 chapters the same well-honed local leadership qualities he had developed as a Virginia Tech active. rising progressively through 4 different areas of responsibility at our national organization. In 1978, Jim was named Theta Xi Executive Director. He continues in that role today, 38 years later. And along the way, he added numerous other responsibilities, including head of the Virginia Tech, of the Theta Xi Foundation. Before I tell you of his many accomplishments at National, let me tell you that he is the recipient of the highest award in Theta Xi, the Order of the Unicorn, and was only the 50th recipient in our entire history of almost 150 years to receive this award. The highlights of his achievement in 38 years at Theta Xi National have included nationally recognized leadership programs, including Values into Action and Benchmarks of Excellence. These are programs that are run for the benefit of the local chapters. These 2 programs received the Association of Fraternity Advisors Excellence in Education Award in 1991 and 1993. Theta Xi was the first men's or women's fraternity to receive 2 such awards, and it happened on Jim's watch. He has added 16 new chapters to the fraternity's roll, reestablished 17 former chapters to the fraternity's roll, led our recognition as National Multiple Sclerosis Volunteer Organization of the Year, promoted adoption of Habitat for Humanity as a second national service project, and oversaw development and implementation of Theta Xi's 9 standards of chapter operations, which our actives work diligently for today. And he became the foundation for the fraternity's chapter accreditation program, which our actives actively participate in today. These 2 programs are key components of Theta Xi's current leadership initiatives, and really one of the reasons we're able to be here today, because of the organization and development that young men can learn. As leader of the Theta Xi Foundation, Jim oversaw its move from a private charitable foundation to a public charity. Jim introduced and obtained funding for the annual President's Academy, Rising Star Academy, and 8 annual District Leadership Academies. James has mentioned part of those today, which provides all elected chapter presidents and key members with weekend leadership programs nationwide. Under his financial tutelage, Jim established chapter education accounts within the National Foundation in 1987, which enabled alumni and friends of the fraternity to make tax-deductible gifts to support charitable, national, and fraternal national leadership opportunities to benefit undergraduate members. And I will say this, that new house we're in right now was funded by alumni donations to the account that Jim set up for us at National many years ago. A man who has devoted 41 years to fraternity achievement has left an indelible mark on the national interfraternity movement beyond Theta Xi. He served as past president and board member of the Fraternities Executive Association. He was a member of the North American Interfraternity Conference and the Commission on Values and Ethics, and was joint advisor to both the Fraternity Executive Association and the National Interfraternity Council Board of Directors. He was also an advisor to the Mid-American Interfraternity Council Association and was a frequent presenter and speaker at various professional programs in those national associations for all fraternities and sororities. Recognizing the importance of risk management, which we have to deal with on a daily basis, he is a founding member of the Fraternity Insurance Purchasing Group that sought its adoption, education, and enforcement of a common risk management policy for all chapters, and served as its first secretary from 1987 to 1992. Along with the executive directors and three other national fraternities, he jointly helped found the Fraternity Insurance Trust in 1992 to provide broad risk-based management policies for chapters. This was the first time in the history of Greek letter organizations forever that they were able to share risk and the experience among themselves. And today encompasses over 60,000 undergraduate members from the United States and Canada in this program. He's been a member of their board of directors and secretary from 1992 to present. Somewhere in all this fraternity involvement, I guess in his spare time, Jim found time to be involved in the local community by serving as the elected position of Missouri School Board member. a vestry member of his church, the St. Louis Society of Association Executives Board of Directors. And as I've introduced earlier, with Karen, they have 2 sons and 1 grandson that now live in St. Louis with them. But back in Blacksburg, we also have the opportunity to recognize Jim. He, because of all this leadership opportunity, received 2 awards this past spring. I'm going to tell you about the first one. The first one was a national award presented in Washington, D.C. back in April. It's called the Gold Award of the National American Interfraternity Conference. Think of all fraternity organizations in the country, and then think of the top award that they have. It's called the Gold Award, and it now belongs to Jim Vredenberg. Some other recipients of this award was first presented in 1940. Some other recipients you might recognize who received it before Jim were Norman Vincent Peale, Ronald Reagan, Barry Goldwater, George H.W. Bush, George W. Bush, and a number of other noted people. And Jim Vredenberg's name now resides in that elite company because of his work with the entire fraternity and sorority movement nationwide. Also this spring, right here on this campus, not far from this building, in April, he received the Henry S. Maddox Fraternity Alumnus of the Year Award from Virginia Tech, the equivalent to the Gold Award nationally, the top award for any fraternity alumnus in this entire university. Jim was not able to be at that meeting this past spring, but on his behalf, James Kiefer received it. This award was named after the very first alumni president of the ISC, first president of the Interfraternity Council, back at a period of time when Jim and I were both in school. And the individual who helped establish this award several years ago told me this. He said when they created this award several years ago and presented it to some other worthy individuals, and he said, but in my experience, that award from the first day was designed for somebody that had the caliber and the accomplishments of Jim Vredenberg. So it is my pleasure now to present to Jim Vredenberg an award, the highest award of Virginia Tech for any fraternity alumni person, the Henry S. Maddox Fraternity Alumni Award. And to assist me in that, I would like to ask Randy, Dr. B, James, and Byron, if you'll come forward. And ladies and gentlemen, say as I, let's recognize the Henry Maddox Award winner, our own Jim Vredenberg.
Is presented as the Virginia Tech Fraternity and Sorority Life Henry S. Maddox Outstanding Fraternity Alumni Award, and it's presented to James Vredenberg.
Let me now present to you the most recent award winner nationally and at Virginia Tech, our own Jim Vredenberg.
I know there's a lot of you who heard that I was on the Commission on Values and Ethics and said, holy mackerel, what happened? The fact of the matter is, I guess Lou Gehrig said it, luckiest man alive. I'm very fortunate. I decided when I was in school at Virginia Tech and I decided to be a political science major, though there wasn't much future in gainful employment. So I took a job with Theta Xi because I loved the fraternity at the time, knew some people nationally who gave me the opportunity. And in the process of doing that, found a job and what turned out to be a career, doing something that I truly love to do, and doing it because I truly believe that fraternity provides young men the opportunity to really enhance their college experience and promotes values that are beneficial to them while in college and later in life. So in that respect, I owe a ton of thanks to Theta Xi fraternity, providing me the opportunities that it has. The list of things that were mentioned today, to be honest, I don't remember half of them. But at the same time, any of you who are employed in a career in something you enjoy has a similar list. Not many of you have a Wally Newton that will espouse it for 10 minutes. But in any case, I've been fortunate to do something I really love to do. And if there's any message I can give you, especially you as undergraduates, find something you love and then just go do it. And you'll have a great life. And along the way, if you can find your own little sister number one and have her with you, your life will be wonderful. So I thank you all. You humble me. I love you.